Welcome to People Who Inspire. I'm your host, Mary Dreliszak. There's a program that's making a difference in the lives of military veterans in Armstrong service areas. It's called Healing Heroes. Its mission is to provide a service dog to qualifying veterans struggling with disabilities such as PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, seizure disorders, and more. I'm with Tara Hardsock, Product Marketing Manager with Armstrong. Hi Tara, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Mary.
How did Healing Heroes come to be?
Well, we had been approached, I guess, close to 2 years now by partners and longtime friends in the cable industry from a company called Veterans Cable. Two of the owners had approached the management of our company about helping to support a program that they had developed called Life-Changing Service Dogs for Veterans. And their program, they were raising funds to donate the money to Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs, to donate service dogs to veterans in need that had been struggling with disabilities. When our company had been approached by this, they learned a little bit more about it, did some research, and just decided that they wanted to do a little more. They didn't want to just sponsor or make a donation. They wanted to learn more about the program and develop a program of our own. We have a long time history of being involved in the community and doing community service projects like this, and it seemed like a perfect fit for our company.
That's wonderful. How many dogs have been matched so far?
To date, we have placed 2 service dogs with veterans, and as I'm aware, I believe there are 2 more in process that will hopefully be placed this spring.
Very good. So these service dogs that are trained, what does it cost to fund a service dog?
Each service dog is approximately $22,000, and that money includes the funding for the complete training of the dog, the raising and training of the dog, and it also includes the funding that's involved with pairing the veteran with the dog and the training that's involved with that. Guardian Angels is located in Williston, Florida. Not all of the veterans are in that area, so there would be travel involved with them going down, and there's a 2-week time period where they would have to be in Florida, the veteran that is in Florida, to train with the dog before they're allowed to take the dog home. So all of that is included with the $22,000.
Very good. And I imagine that the training will take some time to be able to have a dog prepared to match with someone. What's the length of time that a dog is?
I believe it varies with the dog. Each dog has different capabilities and different strengths, so I think it can take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to train the dog.
Very good. Tara, how is the program funded?
Well, our program is funded mostly through donations. We did have a company match up to 5 service dogs originally, but through employee events that have been held throughout our service territory, and also through community organizations such as American Legions and Veterans, VFWs, and school organizations, and various other organizations that have held annual fundraising events that they have chosen Healing Heroes to be their recipients of their proceeds for this year. Our original goal when we kicked off this program on Veterans Day of 2016 was to raise enough funds to place 5 service dogs in that first year. And we had actually exceeded that goal by the end of the first year and raised enough money to place 8 service dogs, and we're currently raising the money to place our 9th dog. So we've exceeded that goal quite a bit.
That's amazing. Thanks so much, Tara, for being with us today, sharing a bit about how it got started. We're so glad to have you for that.
Thank you.
We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to be speaking to Adam Daniels, Field Marketing Manager here at Armstrong. Thanks so much.
I was born and raised in Mount Pleasant and lived here all my life. I started working for Armstrong in February of 1973. I joined the fire department in November of 1976. Being a volunteer means to help people, and I guess I've always grown up knowing that helping people was the main thing. Armstrong has always been community-oriented. They've always taken care of people that came from the community. Even though I'm getting older, I still enjoy going out and helping whenever I can. Being able to help somebody when they're in need, it makes you feel real good inside.
Welcome back to People Who Inspire. I'm happy to have with us Adam Daniels, the Field Marketing Manager here at Armstrong.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Tara was mentioning about the ways that Healing Heroes is funded through the community and also through employee support. Tell me, what does that look like? What do employees at Armstrong do?
This program's been amazing. Employees jumped on this immediately. They loved everything about it and what we were trying to do. They're bringing us ideas, things that they want to get involved with. They're volunteering their time, money, their family, coming to these events and coming to help us raise the money. We've had bike rallies, food truck rallies. We had a Taekwondo breakathon this past week where kids from 2 Taekwondo schools came to break boards. And we've raised so much money in ways and like that where the employees have come and they brought those ideas to us. We've had them volunteer and bring in their own sporting event tickets to raffle off in the offices and stuff. And just all the outpouring of support, they're coming to us wanting to get more involved. It's never been about us having to ask for additional help.
That's wonderful. So they're really helping to make this program a success. How does a veteran who's interested in qualifying or seeing if they can qualify for this, how do they apply?
They can go to our website, to armstrongonewire.com. And through that we can link them to Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs website where the application is, and they review the applications and they handle all that. Armstrong is not part of the decision making, but we pass that along, and the folks at Guardian Angels make those decisions and make sure that they pair the correct dog with the correct veteran.
Very good. Can you tell me about a story of impact, a story where a veteran has been matched and what the difference that dog has made in the life of that veteran?
Sure. We were very early on in the matching of our veterans and dogs and for the money we've raised, but we've had several opportunities to talk with different veterans from the Pittsburgh region that have been impacted. And actually, Tara and myself attended the 2016 Veterans Day breakfast at Duquesne University as we were kicking off Healing Heroes within Armstrong. And that morning, one of the veterans here in the area that had already been paired spoke to the group and talked about his experience with being paired, and it was a very dark and emotional story that he was telling. In the audience and actually seated at our table was one veteran in particular who had his dog with him that he had recently been paired with. As he's telling the story, the dog was starting to sense that the story he was listening to, that his veteran was listening to, was a little traumatic and emotional, and with no signs to us sitting at the table that anything was wrong with the veteran. That dog could sense there was something wrong and immediately got up onto the veteran's chest, went into its routine, licking his face, calming the veteran down. And we saw that throughout the audience with some of the other veterans that had their dogs. And you wouldn't have known anything. You wouldn't have known that they even needed that support, and right there in front of us. And Tara and I can still remember, we kind of looked at each other and we knew this was going to be a program that we wanted to be involved with, seeing that happen there the day we were launching the program.
That's amazing. So the dog senses the feelings of the veteran
Exactly.
and can respond. And I understand the dogs also can do some other things too, and it depends on the training, it depends on the dog itself as to whether they're more emotional support or more tactical. Can you tell me a little bit about other things that veteran service dogs can do?
Sure. Each of the dogs, through their series of trainings, they pick up on certain techniques and things that they can do. So as that dog progresses in its training, the teams that train pair them up and identify the special abilities that they have. They can pick up canes, remotes, things that are dropped. Some of them can actually go and retrieve water bottles and medicine and things from the fridge. They can go and turn on lights, open doors. There's a lot of different things that the dogs can do for veterans that have additional needs, that have disabilities and need that extra assistance. So that's why it's very important for them to make sure that they're getting the right dog with the right veteran. Some veterans aren't disabled physically, and so they don't need those extra abilities from the dog. Some need that more so than anything.
That's wonderful. So Armstrong is really doing such a service. What has that meant to Armstrong?
Oh, it's been great. We launched this as Tara mentioned, we had our goal set out. We quickly arrived at that goal and realized very soon that we were gonna surpass that goal in the first year. And it's just been nice. Here we are in year 2. Things are still happening. Employees are still getting involved. We're still having other organizations come to us, and we did it for the right reasons. We want to support the veterans, support our communities, and to see it continuing to happen well beyond the first year, when we kind of assumed, the novelty will wear off. We're a new initiative, and people are still wanting to help. People are still, who doesn't love dogs, who doesn't love veterans. They want to help that, and it's meant a lot to us to watch the employees and the communities just really grab this and go with it.
That's so wonderful. Well, Adam, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us as well and hearing more about Healing Heroes.
My name is John Kelly. I am a native of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Born and raised in Pittsburgh for about 24 years. I joined the Army, and the Army took me all around the country. 2 years ago, I got to come home to Pittsburgh. I got a job with the Corps of Engineers. I still serve in the reserves, the Army Reserve, so I do the 1 week in a month thing. But I went through the process, got my ship date, shipped off, went to basic training just like any other private in the Army, and then after basic training went to officer candidate school. After I graduated OCS, I got qualified as a field artillery officer. That's my origin branch, or my original branch. Went to airborne school, shipped up to Alaska, which was my first duty station, and then a couple months later we shipped over to Afghanistan. Spent a year in Afghanistan, really kinetic fight, and that means that we were shooting a lot. The deployment was rough. And I don't want to understate that. I mean, we had people that had 5, 6 deployments at that point, and they said that one was by far the worst. It was all the time fighting, people died, and so it was really a really rigorous deployment. It really challenged all of us. So after I got home from that deployment, spent some more time up in Alaska, but then eventually transitioned off active duty. So it was a really tough period. It was tough on my marriage. It was tough on me. It was tough on my wife. So it was hard on my family. And we were struggling to deal with it. We were trying our best. But it was incredibly difficult. And, it got to the point where I was, considering and planning to take my own life. And so here I am, a mess and searching for any answers. And my wife, she was like, well, I read something online about service dogs for PTSD. First question, I know that a dog loves you, but what else can they possibly do? And, but then I started to investigate and spent time looking through specifically what dogs can do with PTSD and people with PTSD, and the success that we've seen out of those people that pair with those dogs. And so I was like, all right, let's give this Guardian Angels a try. I put in an application, and I knew it was the right fit because I put it in the application, and I had a call back in hours. After that, I was like, okay, I'm going to give this my full effort, and we're going to give this a shot and see how it works. So after Guardian Angels, after I established this relationship, within the first couple hours, I met Ranger, and the things that have happened since, and the way that he takes care of me, and the small things that I notice that he does for me, I'm a totally different person. I still struggle. I'll never not have PTSD. I'll never not have TBI. I'll never not have those experiences when I was deployed in Afghanistan and saw my friends die. But I have Ranger. And no matter what may come at me, I know I can lean on him. And he's going to give me everything and more to make sure that he can do everything he can to make me feel better. And that's comforting, and that's helpful, and that's the medication that I need every single day. I spoke at an Armstrong event, and I said to the people in attendance, and I said, you guys are my family now. No matter what, thick and thin, we're here because you had my back, you have my brother's back, you're helping people save lives and families. And so I say thank you to Armstrong Cable, to all their employees, to everyone that's even just taken a second to glance at maybe a newsletter going around. Y'all are amazing, wonderful humans who are helping so many people, saving lives very specifically. So I say thank you to you, because this is, it's an honor to sit here and have an organization care as much as you guys do.
Armstrong communities are making an impact. Healing Heroes is offering love, hope, and healing, empowering veterans to live full lives. To learn more, visit ArmstrongOneWire.com. Thanks so much for being with us today.